Alright, so here's the finished tip right here. That knot right there actually didn't give me any trouble at all. That rust just went right through it. There are a bunch in there though, like I thought. So you can see this one too. It's done too. Maybe a little bit thinner than the other one, but hopefully it won't matter. Otherwise I'll just take some off of that side. Next step here is to cut out the handle. Just like the transition between the static and the working limb, this is a 2-inch fade here that goes from, what is it? It's 1 3/4, isn't it? Yeah, 1 3/4 out to 2.5. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do this. I think I would have used the coping saw, but since I just broke my last blade, I'm going to have to go to the hardware store and pick up another blade. But I think I'll take the saw and come in and cut these out and maybe finish off with a rasp, or I don't know, I might be able to get a knife in there and take out a bunch at once. But I will get back to you with hopefully still a fully intact bow. I don't know. The handle's kind of a risk. Alright, so I started cutting down the handle, and just to show you how I work, this side right here, this is what I just finished. It just needs to be rasped off, and then it'll be good. But just in case you don't have a coping saw like this, which could take out that part right there, I'll show you how you can do it with just a crosscut saw. So how I did it is I clamped this down and then came in with a cut like this right outside the line there, and then did another one there, and did the same thing on both sides. So I removed these triangles of wood just from there. And once I've done that, I'll go ahead and I'll take my draw knife, and it's relatively quick work because you don't have to be careful. And you just go through and knock that out, just piece at a time. It really doesn't take that long. And then once we finish that, we'll have the entire form cut out, and we just need to start tillering. So we're almost there. I'm going to change the camera angle so you can see me take this out better, and then I'll start working. So I'll see you then. Alright, let's start taking this down. I'll put this like that, and hopefully you should be able to see this pretty well. The camera angle looks good to me. So one problem I found when doing this is that it's a lot of pressure to move the entire bow that way. So these clamps need to be tight, because even putting them down tight, I think it'll still slide a little bit, and it's on there pretty well. So I'll go ahead and start to take that down now. So really it's not so much fine shavings anymore. We're going to take out the big stuff. And then I'll go to the other side. And there you see it sliding a little bit. That might be a good place to take the knife and go through it a little bit. Just get that splitting. There we go. Again. don't worry if you slip a little bit and mar this up, it won't be a big deal in the end. This is all going to get rasped down a little bit. Because when you cut this out with the saw, make sure you leave 1/8 of an inch or maybe a little less on the fades and on the handle when you draw knife it out. Just gives you some extra space to work with. Okay, so that one's down just about as much as I'll take it down with the draw knife. Now I'll just work on this side and get this rounded out and show you what it looks like. I might have gone a little too deep there. Great. Yeah, I didn't go too deep there. Way too deep. Oh well. I'll show you what it looks like. I think you can see that. And as you can see, it's cut out to pretty close between the lines. And I kind of like that thickness. That'll work. And I'll just rasp it down. And that's, I mean, you don't need to see that. That's pretty self-explanatory. And I'll get back to you when I am finished doing that. So, I'll see you then. So, as you can see, I've cut the handle out and rasped it out. And that's pretty much done now. The bow is looking pretty nice. I've never done a Mollegabet before, but I don't know, I kind of like it. It has kind of a nice look to it. So now, probably, you know, it's not going to have any flex to it at all. It's still a board at this point. A bow is a stick that is 9/10 broken. So now it's time to take the rest of that 9/10 off, and that'll all be coming off of right here and right here. Nothing's coming off of here anymore except for the corners, just to round those off. And not much is going to come off of the handle either. The handle and these static limbs you don't want to do. So I thought I'd just go over a couple of tips before we started tillering. One thing that goes for this and getting the form too, it's better to use a rasp than it is to use a draw knife, 9 times out of 10. So for a Mollegabet especially, I think, to cut these out you'll need a saw, but once you've done that, it's a lot of rasping and not very much draw knife, because even if you're experienced at it, like I like to think I am, it's really easy to go too deep with a draw knife, but it's harder to go deep with a rasp. And as you can see here, I kind of got a split right there along the end when I was working, and it's a little narrower than I would like for it to be, but I think it'll be fine. And while doing this, traditionally a Mollegabet is all of it from here to here, that's not counting the fades, so from here to here is the same thickness. And then it fades. These fades for width also go for thickness, and they fade bigger there and fade bigger there with 2 inches. So I'm kind of interested to see how it'll turn out. I'll do one limb, and then I will show you how to do the other one. So I'll do that, and I'll get back to you so I can show you what it looks like. And actually, no, I might show you how to measure it out first, and then I'll show you how to do both sides. I'll see you then.